Hello, well, my name is Jared Jargo. Welcome to another episode of Dragon Ball Xenoverse. In the last episode, we completed the Ginyu Saga. In this episode, we're going to be starting the Frieza Saga.
So strong. I'm not really sure if I can even win at my full power. Just have to hold on a little more. I can't hold it anymore.
Who are you? No, I don't need to know. You honestly think you can win?
Darn it! It's too fast! Frieza. He's so powerful he's known as the Emperor of the Universe. Please, watch yourself.
You've done it now. You've ruined my dream of eternal life and youth. I was so very close. But the Dragon Ball's petrified. Too bad for poor Vegeta, but even more for me. It's the very first time I have been made such a fool of. How dare you! How dare you, maggots! I will torture you slowly!
What?
You are still there? Pop up like ants! Fine. I'll just kill you all!
If Dragon Ball makes a new game, they have to do a few things differently. The first thing they have to do, if they know that a lot of people, like, in the US are gonna buy this game, they gotta make sure the lip flaps are at least closely looking like English, and that's just in Japanese. Cause I think the Japanese format, if you had Japanese speakers, I think it'd be point on. The thing is, the English words, they are not even close. Like, once the people are done, the lip flaps are still moving, and I feel like to make, I mean, I guess it's not a big thing for other people, but for me, it's just, I don't know, I don't like it at all, I don't think. But that's just me. Another thing I don't like about this game is that, I mean, it was a long game, but they could have included other forms of a lot of characters. For example, Frieza. You're gonna see right now we're fighting Frieza's first form, but later on, we're gonna be just fighting Frieza's full power form. They skip the first two forms, and it's just really stupid in my opinion. Now, I went to the shop before this episode and I bought Kamehameha instead of Gallican. I think actually I got rid of Solar Flare. I think, but and anyways, I ended up getting rid of my Scouter for this episode to see if I could use the sword, the Yamcha sword. I couldn't do it, and I was really upset with it. So I found out also you cannot actually use swords in this game. The only time you can use a sword like this if you have an ultimate attack that has to do with a sword. I think Super 17, or I guess Android 17, one of his final attacks have to do with an item that you can equip. And once you get it, I guess you can actually use that move. That's kind of cool.
Transform,
Oh, and also, I think it was 2 episodes ago where Vegeta became I became Vegeta's apprentice. That was the worst decision I've ever made. Because every time I failed a level, all I would hear was, "What was that? And you call yourself my apprentice?" And even when I got like a B or an A, he still always, I don't know, he's always bitchy and stuff. Sorry for the language, but still, he was always just such a, I don't know. I'd rather have someone like Goku, which it's kind of hard to have Goku. I thought I was going to go into a cutscene there. But, look what happens here. If you saw just about 20 seconds ago, or 10 seconds ago, I kind of glitched into this next part. What was supposed to happen was Vegeta was supposed to really just get hurt. And what happened was that Vegeta's health stayed the same. So as soon as he got hit, it brought us into the next cutscene, which was supposed to happen. Now, Gohan's voice is especially that "hey," that sounded like he was on gunpoint. He's like, "Hey," but he wasn't like, "Hey, what are you doing here, buddy?" He was just like, "Hey." Oh, speaking of that, look at that, Frieza's in final form. What a shock. Yeah, it's kind of crappy how this actually happens. This saga is actually pretty short, to be honest. A lot of the sagas are really short. The hardest saga I had was probably the Cell saga, and it had to do with Cell Juniors. Because it's stupid. They make the little guys the hardest, and the final bosses of each saga, they're not even difficult. Literally, I had more trouble on like enemies like Cell Juniors, or even the androids I had trouble on. But Cell, Majin Buu, Frieza, they didn't really cause me trouble. However, I do beg to differ with Majin Buu, but we'll get to that when it happens, because, as I said before, this game is really unfair when it comes to boss battles, and you're gonna see what they do with Majin Buu, and when you see that, you're gonna be like, why? Why did this have to be a part of the game? I know the Majin Saga, it's literally like the end of the game area, but still, you have to make it somewhat playable. And then again, I didn't lose that battle. That's why, remember how I said last episode how I kinda got lucky with a lot of fights? That was kind of an example of what I meant. Like, you'll see that I didn't really die in the big fights, but they were just difficult. But I did die in the fights that I should have won, or shouldn't have been that hard.
Sorry I'm late. I'll take care of the rest.
Goku's here. Oh, yep. Now we're talking about how Kakarot and how the planet Vegeta was destroyed by Frieza. And actually, you know, I always wanted to explain that story on how this entire show works, but I think I mentioned in episode 1 of this series that I recorded BT3. Budokai I recorded episode 1 and 2. I recorded actually this entire series, or half the series, I guess. And then in every episode in that series, I explained what happened. Like, because they didn't really give a good summary, they just explained the dialogues. And later on, you know, it was kind of sad that this happened, but it took me a long time to figure out that I could buy techniques.
I'd like to ask if you'd give me a little bit of time. I don't know if it'll work, but there's something I have to try.
This is one of the BS moments in this game. Look what happens to Goku. One death ball, or one, it's not even his ultimate attack, it basically murdered Goku. And watch, he automatically got him. I couldn't do anything about that. And you wanna know what happens when you die? You gotta start all over again. And look at this. Look at my health there. We just started, and another thing about that, it doesn't replenish your health when you go to another cutscene. It's stupid. I ended up finding out in the end that you could buy little capsules that restore your health, and it ended up helping me in the long run. But still, I ended up being very under-leveled for all of these fights, and it is partially my fault. I didn't do all the parallel quests, but I did all of them up to this point. Up to the Majin Saga, I did every single parallel quest I could, because these bosses were just too hard for me. This game is very, very tough, and I kind of like it how it's that tough, but still, I think that they could have decreased the difficulty a little bit. But then again, you gotta remember that most of the people that are playing this game are adults, so you kind of have to have some challenge with this game, you know?
Well, I'll kill you, even if you try to run.
Wow, Frieza's crazy. But it's actually really cool because you can actually revisit all these missions at the end of the game, and you can see how much you've progressed throughout the entire, like, sagas and everything, because the enemies are still the same level as they were when you fought them.
What's the matter? I know you've got more than that.